Hello, my name is Zazie. You're welcome to my channel. In this video, I will be showing you my very simple analysis on Volatility 100 on the Derived platform. So I took this trade and I sent out the signal on my premium channel about 4 days ago. And then 2 days later, I sent out another entry on that same signal to the free channel, right? And folks in the premium channel already were making profits, and then, free channel folks also joined in much later. And it was interesting because price eventually hit take profits. Everyone who took the trade made good money from it. And I'm just here to show you what I did and how I came about the analysis. Just a reminder, I trade using pure price action. I do not use indicators at all. So I look at the charts and I analyze the market based on the candlesticks, the zones, the patterns, and things like that. So in this video, I'll explain to you what I did. I looked at this market from 2 time frames. I looked at it from the daily time frame, which was my first view, and then I looked at it from the H4 time frame, which was where I took my trade, because I got my entry from there and I took my trade and set my coordinates based on the H4 time frame. So the first thing I noticed in this trade was the fact that I started analyzing this market before price got into this zone. So this is a demand zone right here that I drew out already. So before price came into this zone, I was looking out for this zone. It was a very important zone for me because I was sure that if price had come to this zone, I would only be looking for a buy entry. If I get that buy confirmation, I'm good to go for that buy trade. So when price came here, I saw a lot of, movements at this level, and eventually we had what looked like a bullish engulfing. First off, we had a hammer here, but there was no solid confirmation. We had an inverted hammer here, but still no solid confirmation. So it's just a good time to just chill and see how price will react around that point. If you follow my style of trading, you know that I don't like to trade without extreme confirmation. I'm very, very big on confluence. So regardless of what the overall trend is saying or what zones are saying, if I don't get the extra confirmation I need, I would not take that trade. So I waited for all the confirmation I needed. It took me days. I was patient because I knew that if I patiently take my entry, the results would be great. So I allowed price to do its thing, and then eventually I saw that price give us a bullish engulfing, which was good for me. The bullish engulfing is a reversal candlestick pattern, just like this other ones, the hammer and the inverted hammer, that had no confirmation. So even after I saw the bullish engulfing, I didn't take the buy yet because I didn't have that extra confirmation I needed. So I waited to see how price would react after the bullish engulfing, and to my surprise, well, not to my surprise, because I sort of thought price would go up. So price actually went in line with what I predicted or what I wanted in my head. And so we had this confirmation candle with this solid bullish candle right here. Another interesting thing for me was the fact that in the H4 time frame, I could see still within the daily demand. I saw how price first formed the support area here, right? Price went up and then came back down to retest at that same support level, giving us a double bottom formation, which is good, right? It was good for me. I saw how price gave us another bullish move from this double bottom formation. It was good, but was not enough confirmation for me, right? The bullish engulfing was solid, but not enough confirmation for me. So after that candle popped, we could see a dragonfly doji here, which signifies a doji candle that signifies that price will likely go up, right? But after that popped, I still wasn't convinced. I wanted to be sure that price was going to go bullish, so I needed to wait for an extra solid bullish candle, and it gave me that. So while this was forming, it occurred to me as well that apart from the fact that this is a double bottom formation, right? And, it's very obvious that from double bottom, we're probably waiting for price to probably go past the neckline. It looked more than that to me. What I also saw here was the fact that this pattern right here is a bullish Batman pattern. I love Batman patterns so much because most times when I get into trade based on Batman patterns, it actually works, right? So I'm very crazy about Batman patterns. So I saw how price gave us a double bottom here, gave us a bullish engulfing here, gave us a confirmation candle here, and now sort of broke out of this bullish Batman. So I put a small trend line here to just show the neckline area. You could also sort of put like a horizontal line here, but that doesn't really do it for me. I'm very specific about points, especially points that are formed by wicks, right? So I just put a trend line here so I could get this exact area. And I saw how price broke out of this my trend line and closed outside of the trend. So it looks like a good one for me, right? But it just wasn't enough. I saw how all these things played out, but I was just patient enough to see how price would move. It still wasn't enough confirmation for me. So while price moved all the way, right? Price moved all the way to the top. First of all, gave us a new demand zone at this level. So while price broke out of this Batman, bullish Batman, it formed a new demand zone right here. It did a small, tiny retest here, but that wasn't it. In fact, I wouldn't even call it a retest. Price was just playing around this level, right? And then it gave us a demand zone right here. Now, the main retest happened at this level. So when I identified my demand zone, price had not started forming at this level yet. It looked like price was going to test it, so I drew out my demand zone and I was patient enough to wait for price to retest this zone, this demand zone right here. And also, sort of, if you put my horizontal line here, maybe you'd say the neckline right here. But for me, it was the demand zone at this point. So price went up and came back to test my demand zone. And I know that from my analysis over time, when a zone is being formed for the first time and being tested for the first time, it's usually solid. It's almost usually solid, right? So it's always very great for you to take opportunity and take good use of the opportunity when it presents itself. So if you have a situation where price is retesting a new zone for the first time, always try not to miss it, because when it moves in the direction the zone wants it to move and you are in that trade, it will almost always be, I'm trying to not use always because nothing is 100% certain in the market, but the possibility of you actually making good money from that trade is very, very high, right? So price came here to this demand zone and tested it for the first time. And the interesting thing about price testing this demand zone is that it gave us a hammer, because price came down and now gave us this hammer, right? Retesting the demand zone, retesting this my small trend line that I drew right here. So everything was starting to align. And if you know your candlesticks very well, you know that a hammer is a reversal candlestick, right? So when that hammer formed, I needed to wait for a confirmation, like I always do. And then the confirmation came and it was so solid because we could see this bullish candle right here. So after this bullish candle formed, I was lucky enough to come back to the charts to look at it. So I saw that this bullish candle had formed, right? And then I took my buy. I sent out the signal. My stop loss was right here. My take profit was right here. The risk to reward was not less than 1 to 2. I took my buy. I sent out the signal. And 4 days later, price hit take profit. Price hit take profit yesterday. Sorry, just need to be sure. Let me just check the dates. So price hit take profits today, actually, very early this morning. Price hit take profit very early this morning. So the trade went very well. And if you know Volatility 100 very well, you know that even with the lowest lot size, when you take a trade based on the lowest lot size, you make a lot of money. With the lowest lot size, my first entry was $120 per position. That's 0.2. And then with the second entry that I sent out to the folks on the free channel, the lowest lot size brought about $100 per position, $100.94. So that's good. Now imagine folks that have bigger accounts that are used higher lot sizes. So you can imagine the amount of profit that they would have made on that trade. I don't think that there was any drawdown. The only drawdown that happened was when price really just came down to this level, but afterwards price just went on smoothly, and I wasn't even shaken by it because I was I mean, it's normal for price to just dance around like that. I was very sure of my position. I held on to my position and I was determined to see the trade hit my take profit, and that was exactly what happened. So that's my very simple analysis on Volatility 100. If you're just watching my video for the first time, hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notifications, so whenever I drop a new video, you get a notification and you're the first to get it. I always drop out very interesting trading tips. I teach and I show people the simplest and most effective ways to trade the financial market without the use of any indicators. I don't use indicators for any of my analysis, and it has helped me over the years. And I've been able to record very great results. So I've stuck to that because that's what works for me. And I've also taught and mentored people on how to trade without using indicators, right? So if you're interested in learning how to trade, you can click on the link to any of my social media platforms below and send me a DM. I respond to DMs. And if you also want free signals, in the description, somewhere around the description, you would see the link to my free signal channel. So feel free to join and benefit from these amazing signals that I send out to people daily. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time.